Hi, welcome to another episode of The Real Deals. Tonight, we're going to bring you some information about the holidays. This is the prime time of year. Everybody gets the holiday blues. So as we welcome you to sit back and relax here at The Real Deals, we'd like you to remember that you don't have to get those holiday blues. You can kick back, relax, and do some things so you too won't have to get bummed out, listen to negative voices, and chase those demonic voices right out of your head. So, without further ado,
The Real Deals are on the air now. And now, live from the Swords of St. Michael Studios, it's The Real Deal, Pharaoh's Deal.
hi everyone, welcome to this episode during our fabulous season of Advent. It's Christmas time and everyone and anyone is getting ready. Everybody's getting in a rush. They're getting excited. They're putting up decorations. Maybe they're not putting up decorations, but everybody's getting in the mood for something. They're anticipating something. And a lot of times we find ourselves so pressured, so rushed, so harried that it's just not possible to relax and enjoy. And a lot of times we isolate ourselves, and that's not healthy either. So in tonight's episode, we're going to talk about some of those voices and how they attack us and come and get us. And we're going to talk about ways you can just get rid of it. Just get rid of it all. So give us a thumbs up so the video goes up. If you're new to the channel, we've got lots of other videos concerning spiritual warfare and these topics. Please check out some more and stay tuned. Don't move a muscle. We're about to pray in with our St. Michael prayer. In nomine Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sanctus, sic ut erat in principio et nunc et semper et saecula saeculorum. Amen. Sancta Michael Arcangele, defende nos in prelio, contra nequitiam et insidiis diaboli est presidium. Imperire Deus supplicis te precamur tuque, princeps maletia celestis satana maliosque spiritus malignos, qui ad perditionem animarum pervegantur in mundo divina virtute, in infernum detrude. Amen. Hello and welcome to The Real Deals. If you're new to our channel, hey, listen, we run because you guys support us. We attempt to bring you lots of good information about spiritual warfare, exorcism, demonic kickback, the way they act through everyone and everything all around us and how we can maintain our joy and peace. So you can support us at PayPal, The Real Deals, or become a Patreon. Thank you so much to our new Patreon subscribers. I really appreciate it. We send out so many holy medals and help so many people all over that contact us. It's really, really nice. It's a big blessing. So once again, like I said, our topic for tonight is the holidays and how all of these dissenting voices attack us. And when we look at everything that comes at us, I mean, we start with our own family. You know, where is our biggest priority? You know, how are we attacked? Usually it's physically. That's the first place that we're attacked. We're overtaxed, we're overworked, we're not sleeping enough, and that in itself, not getting sleep, in our physical aspect of the lack of energy. We, constantly are bombarding our bodies with caffeine and other stimulants because we need to be awake, we need to be on target, we need to be on track. Our bosses, our friends, come on, we got to go out, we got to go do this. Oh my gosh, we got to go shopping. We're pulled in so many different directions, and especially from family, the ones that we love and the ones that are saying, you owe it to us, you have to come with us, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, maybe it's time to back off a little bit and just say, nah, I need some time for me this week. It's not easy because the lights are out, the parties are going. Everybody is having a tapas appetizer get together. So you're exhausted. I mean, it exhausts me thinking about all the things that, I got to do. And our parents, maybe they're older, maybe they expect you to be over there, so physically you're running and you're taking care of them. How about our children and our other immediate family that need us constantly? When we're physically out of energy, that is prime, that is prime for the lowest level demonic attack, which is temptation. And what do we do when we're tempted? Lowest form of demonic oppression being temptation is we overeat, we drink too much, we indulge too much, we stay out too late, and we make excuses that, well, it's just this once, it's not gonna last, we'll do better tomorrow, right? Yes, I know, I say those excuses all the time. So where does that lead us? One overeating session, like Thanksgiving, one overeating session can lead to another one and another one and another one. And thank you all for joining us in chat. Thank you so much for being a part, and welcome. If you're new to us, please give us a thumbs up, please, so that this video can go up. So we're talking about low-level temptations, which is, the little simple things. It's so easy to overindulge. And as we were talking on a previous episode of working with these temptations, our nature is reason and sense. Reason and sense, the passions and our free will. When you have no energy and you're constantly drinking so much coffee, you tend to lose all sense of reason, because all you're doing is going, oh my gosh, if only I could get a nap. If only I could get some rest. So you're physically worn out. Ripe for temptation right there. The next big attack where you're going to really be sucked and, your Christmas joy is going to go right out the window here. Oh my gosh, your finances. Can't say this enough. Everybody and their brother has something they want to sell you. Oh, look at what little Johnny's selling to make money for Christmas. Oh, look at what's on sale. Oh, you've always had to have that brand new Chanel bag, didn't you? Oh, you got to get a new car. It's Christmas, isn't your husband isn't he going to get you another new car this year? Your finances, where we all know what comes in and goes out, doesn't always add up. This time of year, there's so much pressure from all sides. Mostly it is the hype about, well, Christmas might be all about Jesus's birth, but Jesus's birth is a big birthday party, and you've got to buy the best presents, and especially buy yourself two, buy them one. I used to do that too. That hype and over consumerism, it forces us to think, I owe, or I should, or I ought to. And then all of a sudden you're pulling out the charge cards, and what are we doing? We're maxing ourselves and taxing ourselves to a degree that we're not leaving ourselves with a financial cushion. I used to go crazy, and every year about July, August, I would start putting little things aside, and I would start buying little things, so that instead of having to go out and buy, $200-$300 gifts, I'd buy just piles of cool little stuff, because, I am a person that I know what people like. And I realized by the time I had gotten to November, I was still charging. So this financial aspect of low-level demonic temptation to just keep spending and spending and spending, we need to step back with our reason and realize that it's just a temptation. It's a temptation to have, to be, and to give what? Like everybody else is. And is that necessary? Is it completely necessary? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think it is so much better to take into account what it is financially that you have, what it is financially that you can do, and take care of all the priorities first. Always. And then if you have a little bit left over, and of course I cannot tell you how much I would rather have somebody make me cookies or make me a birdhouse, something cool, but that's me. And other people, they're like, no, you know what, I want something substantial or real. Everybody's different. And if you can't give somebody exactly what they want because what they want is out of your reach, do what you can. That is the greatest truth and peace you can give yourself, is don't step into the temptation. Because a lot of times when we try and reach to give somebody what we think they have to have, we tempt ourselves into more stress. Christmas joy is gone again. So that's another thing, is that whole financial stuff. It's just so difficult. Okay, so how else are, we tempted with these voices constantly? And the last one I really, really think is so important is that our spirituality and our sense of self-worth is really attacked. We live in a world today that during this time, and I'm going to cover it at the end, but we have so many options to do so many different things and go in so many different directions. And with all the media that we're exposed to and our friends and our jobs, we hear so many different things. We hear, how acceptable this is and how acceptable that is. And we want to be nice and loving and accepting of everybody and of what they do. And that's not always healthy and beneficial for them and for the end of what we know is here. So what can we do? What can we do when the world and these voices are pulling us spiritually into areas that we know are not healthy? In order for our joy not to be stolen in this season of Advent leading up to Christ's birth, try turning off your TV. If you watch 4 hours of it, let's just cut it down to 2 a day. Wouldn't be that difficult. How about if you listen to the radio on the way to work, okay? And a lot of us do. We've got to go someplace. We're turning on music, turning on jams, and then they stick in that little bit of news. Well, they call it news anyway. And they call it newsworthy, and it's not exactly newsworthy, but what it is, these are little tidbits of information that whoever owns the radio station would like you to think about and you to contemplate as truth. And I'm not going to give any good examples, but I think that we can all think of some examples of things that we actually heard live that really didn't pan out. There's lots of things going on in the world today. There's floods, there's murders, there's massacres, there is terrorism. And sadly, the news is 99% violent, horrible. It's gut-wrenching. If you go onto any social media platform, let's see, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, a lot of the headlining stories you're going to see are all negative. Someone has been beheaded. Someone has been molested, raped, hurt, killed, shot down, gunned down, throat slashed. We as human beings, I don't believe that we were made to have this constant barrage of negativity at us and all this information. It wears on a person. So who needs demons when we have the media? Isn't that terrible? I know I said that. That's terrible, but it's true. Okay? Our news is negative. There's a saying in spiritual warfare. Once you have seen something, you cannot unsee it. You cannot. So anything that we expose ourselves to, the demons can use against us. So let's say we watch the news every single night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock news, depending on your East Coast, West Coast. If you're in the breadbasket, everybody has to go to bed early because, they own farms. So, let's say you're putting all these horrible images in your mind. What's the chances you're going to have a really wonderful dream about relaxing, taking it easy, doing what you love to do? Or are you going to replay some of those ugly images at the point of suggestion of something in your ear? Chances are very likely you're going to have some nightmares. Chances are very likely when you're feeling stressed, you're under-caffeinated, you're underslept, and your family is yelling at you and your boss is yelling at you, what's going to happen? You're going to have these negative thoughts scrolling through your head. It is what it is. We have to protect our minds. We have to protect the peace that we have of Christ in our hearts at all times. We can't do that when we let a lot of dissenting voices come in. And these dissenting voices in media tell us what a woman my age should wear, what I should be drinking, who I should be dating, what I should be driving, what my grandchildren ought to be educated in. And this is what I told my children years ago when we turned off the television. The television is a forum for people that have great piles of money to determine where they're going to put that money to tell the general public and make the suggestion that this is the product you ought to buy. This is the house you ought to live in. This is the vehicle that you... So, hello? Where's your temptation going to be? If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling ugly about myself, well, let's see, I think I need a trip to the Bahamas. And I think I need to go on the Mary Celeste because they have the most handsome masseuse. They have the nicest balls, and I can go practice my ballroom. All of this is distraction. I'm talking about a 3-week window here of keeping your peace, of keeping the focus on what's important. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It never is each year. And as we look at the season of Advent and this season of expectation of the Christ child being born, how are we driving? You're listening to the radio. Oh my gosh. I went to go pick up Peggy today, and I was just like zooming around cars because somebody's going 20 and somebody's going like 5 miles under. How are we driving? Are we driving with calm, peace in our hearts? Are we running the people off the road because what we've got to get to and what we want, it's so much more important than them? Is this stealing our joy? If you're just joining us right now, welcome to The Real Deals. Please give us a thumbs up and give this video a like so it can climb up in ratings, kiddos. We're talking about spiritual warfare, demonic scene stealers in every part of our day. And we're talking about the messages that we receive every day and the importance of those messages in actually maintaining a sense of peace. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. So as we talk about the messages we're getting, I have to talk about the number one joy stealer, the number one scene stealer of your entire Christmas season. We are seeing numerous images of Saint Nick. We are seeing numerous images of happy families in pristine, clean homes. And I mean military clean homes with gobs of beautiful decorations. It's hard not, if you live anywhere near a city, you know, the cities are getting their wreaths out, and you're seeing such a display, a material display of joy. In some cities, like here in Springfield, you're going to see what St. Francis brought about, a nativity, a scene where you will have the Blessed Mother, you will have St. Joseph, and you will have the baby Jesus, and you'll have some cute little farm animals. Sometimes you get some wise men thrown in there. That's rare and rare and rarer, depending on where you live. There are places all you'll see is snowflakes. I mean lights hanging from street lamps, okay? You'll see beautiful, thousands of lights and trees. You'll see candy canes. What is this visual imagery doing for us? It's showing us that there is a material purpose to the season. There is a material purpose to light our eyes up. Not every display is nefarious. Not every materialistic display is nefarious. The only way that any one of us can keep out the dissenting voices of, you must be a pretty miserable person because you don't put up a Christmas tree. You don't decorate, so something must be wrong with you. You don't enjoy the season. These seem to be the messages that I hear from people that basically they feel alone and they feel kind of left out of the world at large that celebrates the most wonderful time of the year. That's what they call it. Sadly, it is one of the most difficult times of the year. This and Easter is just like, it's really difficult. So the next part of the show, I want to give you guys some ideas, A, to keep your peace, and B, some ideas to keep the focus where it belongs. The focus is truly on the expectation, the anticipation, and the birth of a humble, innocent child born in the most humblest place of all, in an animal manger. Go figure. As we look at how we are torn spiritually by the constant messages on the radio, on the television, of what joy ought to look like, of what a family ought to look like, we have to remember that the season is about Christ Mass, the holy sacrifice of Mass for Christ. Christ came for you and me. Hey, that makes me a holy roller. What I'm telling you is that the only way to stop the voices of anger, to stop the voices of disregard, disrespect, of being overwhelmed, spend some time with the good book. Spend some time with God. You're going to need a lot of it to get through the season. The pushing, the shoving, the yelling. The family get-togethers, the friendly get-togethers, including the parish get-togethers. Nobody is perfect. So when you look at, what do I do? I'm already so busy. I have such a full schedule, whether you're a mother, you're a grandmother, whether my girlfriend, she has her grandkids, she has friends, neighbors. It's a huge house. Everybody's living. She hardly has any time. This is a gal I went hunting with that I posted pictures. There is something each and every one of us can do. It just takes time to figure out, what have I got time for? And if you're so swamped that you don't have time to add a few minutes of peace to your day or your week, you're way overbooked. Way overbooked. That's not healthy. All of us need to recharge. All of us need to regroup. All of us need to find a way we can take time for us so that we can give more back. So looking at these things that we can do, I was coming up with like the top 10 things that we can share and give of ourselves, and different ways that we can step outside of ourselves. Not all of us have resources, time, talent, and treasure. All of us can take a few minutes of time. And in maintaining our peace and in kicking back these holiday blues, because everybody gets the holiday blues. We think back to when we were kids and we had such a great time. We think back to when people that we miss were alive. A lot of us have lost loved ones, and this is kind of the worst time of the year to remember that we've lost children, we've lost mothers, fathers, we've lost wives, we've lost husbands, we've lost, a beloved family member, that hole will be there. And those feelings are valid. We cannot lose our peace. Especially for those people that are missing somebody that you love. What I challenge you to think about is, in that loved one's heart, what they loved. Whether they loved walking in the park, whether they loved volunteering at a food bank, what did they love to do? Where was their heart drawn? Even if you just do it once in the next 3 weeks, do something that they would love, and know that their spirit is right with you as you do it. It's a beautiful thing. If you have someone that you're missing that wasn't necessarily involved in volunteer work, but they love teaching, volunteer at your local school to read to a class of first graders. Get creative. If you need ideas, post them in the comments. I'm glad. I've got a zillion and one ideas for you. Just ask me. Another thing, what we don't realize, a lot of kids, this is the hardest time of year for everybody. Tension's the highest, blood pressure's the highest. There's a lot of heart attacks this time of year. A lot of people end up in the hospital this time of year because of expectations. How did my year go? How did I fail this year? How bad am I doing this year? It's not always easy. So if there is an illness you're fighting, if there is something that you have to deal with on a daily basis, whether it's diabetes, any kind of thing that that this is really awful and I'm fighting it really hard. It's not easy to see that there's other people that are fighting like us, especially when we're struggling so much. There are so many orphans in foster care. There are so many people on the terminal wards in hospitals that would give anything, because of a lack of family, for someone to come and sit with them, pray with them, maybe read them a story, maybe give them a Christmas card. It doesn't have to be much. You can go to a resale shop and pick up a bag of 100 for like $2. Come on. I think our time is one of the greatest gifts that you can give someone that has so much time and they're so lonely. So when we think of our own loneliness and we think of all the things that are going on in our head, all these demonic invitations to feel sorry for ourselves and go, I think I'm just I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to eat, I'm going to drink. I want it to go away. Stop. Right there. Just stop. And think, if I want to maintain my peace, I'm going to have to pull my bootstraps up and on and see where I can take 10-15 minutes of my day to offer something to someone else. Call your church. I'm sure somebody needs prayer. If you are inbound, if you are an invalid, if you're in a wheelchair, if you can't go anywhere, you can't get a ride, you can't tell me you've got a telephone? How about a computer? Contact your church, contact your hospital. Start a pen pal relationship. See, I think what we forget this time of year, when people look at stuff and things and I have to and we just like, it's all material and none of it matters. I guarantee you, when we get to the end of our lives and you have the last few seconds to think about the most magnificent moments, the things left that you missed, involved giving time. If you could do nothing else but to mend a broken relationship, even if the person doesn't ever want to hear from you again, whether it's a son, a child, a mother, a daughter, what would it hurt you to humble yourself and write a letter and ask Christ to bless it and send it off? It's time. The more that we look at ourselves and look at what we don't have, the more that we listen to those voices and think, well, I really want some new clothes. I want a new car. I want a new house. And I have such a terrible life. And I don't have this. The more we look at what we do not have, the more miserable we are. The more we feel sorry for ourselves. The more we need our crying towels. Yes, there are many of us out there suffering that nobody sees. The internal, the emotional, the physical, the scars. How does that disable us from continuing to give? We have two choices, and this is how I look at it. If you're going to kick back those demonic voices and maintain your peace, you're going to step outside of yourself and say, where, God, do you want me to serve? And you'll find something. Like I said, even if it's just once a week. The gift of self. We're all so very selfish with our time. And it's so difficult because, like I said, we have jobs, we have family, we have so many people pulling at us. We have so many obligations. That is the number one thing you can do, is give of yourself. For that gift in itself, what did Jesus say? When you do this to the least of these, a terminally ill person, a foster child, how about a nursing home? Do you know how heartbreaking it is to go into a nursing home or a hospice home where people are dying and they're just being kept comfortable so that they can die in peace? Yeah, it's horrific. But you don't know how beautiful your presence is to someone until you look in their eyes and see how happy they are that you just showed up. Because when you do, you bring the gift of Christ to another. So I'd like each and every one of you to think about that, this demonic kickback to not letting Satan steal your joy this holiday. Not focus on what you don't have. Not focus on what you can't give. Not focus on where you can't go. And the things you can't do. The places you can't see. Focus on who. Who is God calling you to visit? Who is God calling you to connect with? That will shut up those demonic voices. That will maintain and support your peace. And while you're there, mental prayer or oral prayer, expository prayer, wherever you're at. Pray with people. Yeah, it might be uncomfortable the first time, but it's not that difficult. How difficult is it to say, God bless, to the person serving you coffee or the person that lets you go in front of them in line? How difficult is that? It's a prayer. It's a little prayer. Is it going to kill you? No. I just heard something profound the other day. By your baptism, you're called to be a missionary. Ooh, spooky guys, not me. Well, I'm not asking you. God's not saying, hey, you got to get out there and, go be Rosa Parks, go be Mother Teresa. I'm telling you, stop listening to the demonic voices of invitation to constant self-serving. Let's get outside of ourselves. On the 6th, a number of exorcists have asked for prayer and fasting and reparation. It's a really good idea. We have 3 more weeks to anticipate the joy of the birth of Christ, the Messiah, the Savior. So, what are you going to come up with? I would love to hear your ideas because I'm still coming up with ideas and I'm trying to get something new in every week. So, like I said, in order to kick back those voices, please drop your comments below. And if you have any questions about spiritual warfare or other demonic problems, please put them in because it always spawns new conversation. It gets the juices going so that, we can bring you other interesting shows. And as always, thank you so much. Good to see everybody tonight in chat. Thank you so much for joining us. And please give us a like, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to support us, the links will be included below. God bless you. Never forget the battle's already been won. And we're here to help you win the fight and do it right. So, tonight, don't forget, say your prayers, rabbits. Good night.
The Real Deal TV show, copyright 2018, a Swords of St. Michael production. Any unauthorized duplication or rebroadcast or retransmission of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Swords of the Saint Network or that of Pharaoh's Deal is strictly prohibited.